This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming and welcome to the Community Development Block Grant Performance Public Hearing. Today is Wednesday, September 13th. Just want to go over a couple of ground rules before we begin. If the meeting ends for any reason, it will not be continued tonight. It'll be continued to Monday, September 18th at 5 p.m. All of the participants are going to be viewers with muted and cameras off until you're recognized for public comment. The chat function has also been disabled. To make sure that everyone has an opportunity to speak, comments are going to be limited to 2 minutes per person per agenda item. And if you have any additional comments or questions, please feel free to email me at jwebb@easthamptonma.gov. When we get into the public comment side of things, just want a quick run through how you will make a public comment. This might be a little different than other programs you've used in the past. You'll be a viewer to begin with. Once you're recognized and you begin, please begin with your name and address for the record. Select the raise hand function to signal your intent to provide public comment. You'll be acknowledged to become a contributor. You must hit accept to continue. Once you've done that, you can then turn on your microphone and camera. Again, please start with your name and address for the record. The purpose of tonight's public hearing is to have a brief presentation and discussion regarding the most recent Community Development Block Grant programs, the FY20 and FY21 program. There's going to be a brief presentation of each of the components of the programs, followed by an opportunity for public comment. We will be discussing the Charles Street infrastructure improvements, the New City Neighborhood Infrastructure Planning Study, the Housing Rehab Program, the Aging in Place Program, and the Cherry Street infrastructure improvements. The Community Development Block Grant Program is a federally funded program that passes money through the Mass Department of Housing and Livable Communities, formerly Department of Housing and Community Development. Projects are usually related to infrastructure or social services, although they can take other forms as well. And we do not automatically receive these funds. We have to apply for them competitively every year. We're also required to hold a minimum of 2 public hearings every year, one for before we apply and one partway through to evaluate our performance. This is that second public hearing to evaluate the performance. Brief overview of the 2020 Community Development Block Grant Program. We received $800,000 in total, and it funded these 4 projects: the Charles Street infrastructure improvements, the New City Neighborhood Planning Study, Housing Rehab, and the Aging in Place. So to begin with the Charles Street program, the project was completed in the late fall of 2021. Specific improvements included spot repair of sewer main, drainage, and catch basins. Pavement, sidewalks, and curbing were also completed. Also installed rapid flashing beacons on Clark Street and redid the crosswalks. A. Martin's Construction was the low bidder on the project, and the final construction cost was $330,176. Combined engineering oversight and program delivery was $76,500 for a total construction cost of $406,000. I'll now open it up to questions or comments or anything that anyone else in the city would like to add about this project. Again, if you have any comments, you can use the raise hand function. All right, hearing no comments, we're going to continue on. If there anything comes up, feel free to jump back to this later. The second component of the 2020 program was the New City Infrastructure Planning Study. This project is also complete. This project comprehensively evaluated all of the public infrastructure in New City. We went out to RFP for consultant services in the summer of 2021 and selected Fuss & O'Neill to conduct the work. Fuss & O'Neill evaluated the sewer, water, drainage, streets, sidewalks for ADA accessibility. We also looked at the street trees, public parks, and potential for green infrastructure, traffic calming, and bike lanes. We had 2 neighborhood meetings, a presentation to the Board of Public Works and the City Council. The completed New City Infrastructure Master Plan is available on our website, easthamptonma.gov/newcity. I'm just quickly showing some of the proposed designs that came out of this project, and this will also lead to future design development work through the FY 2022-23 grant and going forward into construction funds. In total, $175,000 was spent for consultant services, $15,900 for program delivery to Pioneer Valley Planning Commission to help administer this project. And I'll open this up now to any questions, comments. Please feel free. Great. Lisa, gonna see if this works.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So thank you. I'm Lisa Ponce, live at 17 Main Avenue. And this that you're talking about here was just like information gathering and creating the plans, but it's a separate grant that's going to actually implement these plans. Is that correct?
Correct. It's going to be a series of construction. Well, currently we were just awarded design money for the detailed design development. We expect that process to take a year to 18 months, and then we'll be turning those into construction documents and going out to bid. There'll be additional neighborhood meetings and presentations along the way.
Great, thank you. And only other question would be, are there any immediate like safety concerns infrastructure-wise in the New City neighborhood? For example, fire hydrants we might be concerned about, their structural integrity, things of that nature.
So we did look at that as part of the plan. There were no immediate safety concerns that came up through this planning study / where they were identified. They were immediately taken care of. So you may have noticed that in parts of New City, there were some hydrant work that did happen. So the hydrants that are there are currently working, and you don't need to have cause for alarm.
Great, thank you so much.
Thank you. Now I'm going to turn this over to Erica Johnson from Pioneer Valley Planning Commission. We'll talk about the Housing Rehab and Aging in Place program.
Thank you, Jamie. And thank you for putting together this nice slide that I can refer to. So through the city's through the city's FY20 program, housing rehabilitation and aging in place programs were also funded. I'm going to start with housing rehabilitation. The city contracted with the Pioneer Valley Planning Commission to help administer both programs. Housing rehabilitation received $75,000 to put toward the rehabilitation of 3 homes in the city. And one of those projects has been completed to date. The 2 additional projects are ready to go out to bid and should be going out to bid within the next 2 weeks, so that those can be put under construction. Aging in place received a total of $50,000 with the intent to assist 10 units through the Aging in Place program. And forgive me if it's not the kid, it's the cat. So get out of there. Anyway, the intent, like I said, was to assist 10 units in the Aging in Place. We really struggled to find income qualified folks for the Aging in Place and also find projects that qualified. At the time we were doing the Aging in Place, the program was limited to $5,000 per unit. That's since been increased as the states realize the 5,000 is really limiting. So we are going to, all in, we anticipate serving 4 households instead of the 10 with the Aging in Place. And as of right now, we have 2 projects that have been completed. We have one that had bids come in last week. We anticipate construction to start within this month on that project. And we have one that we are in the process of working with the homeowner to develop a scope that works for them and also fits within the program. So, like I said, we should have 4 people go through. That final one is still a little bit of a question mark. But I also want to mention that we had 27 separate households that called in, met with our housing intake staff, and for one reason or another did not qualify for the program. So it certainly wasn't for lack of interest from the public or lack of effort on the side of the city or the PVPC. And I realize I went over some of the details, and I realize they're up on the slide. But just really quickly, so Aging in Place, like it says, if you have access and are looking at the slides, are small grants of up to $5,000 to preserve people, older residents staying in their homes. So it's not, we're not replacing decks or replacing windows. It's small things. There's a lot of improvements that get made in bathrooms, the installation of handrails at the entry of homes. So smaller things like that. The housing rehab program, those are the bigger projects. Those are the projects where we replace windows, we replace roofs. That's when we come back and fix that porch that's falling off. So they are 2 separate programs. And I'm happy to take questions or comments, or if there's something that I missed, Jamie, that you want to add.
That was very enlightening. Thank you, Erica.
Oh, of course, thank you.
Are there any comments, questions? So with that, again, will be time at the end if people think of things. So we're going to go continue along with the FY 2021 program. Again, $800,000 in total was awarded. This funded just one activity, the Cherry Street infrastructure improvements. So the project is still ongoing. Construction is began in the spring of 2022 and took a pause over the winter of 2022-2023. Specific improvements included the full replacement of sewer main, water main, drainage, catch basins, and then installation of green infrastructure basins, reconstruction of the stormwater outfall and head wall at Brickyard Brook, telephone pole relocations, street reconstructions and paving, new ADA compliant sidewalks and curbing was also installed. Final restoration work and landscaping will continue throughout the fall. The lowest qualified bidder was Morais Concrete Services. They bid at about $3.4 million for the project. There have been 10 change orders to date, bringing the estimated total construction cost to $3.8 million. And again, of that, just the $800,000 was funded from the Community Development Block Grant Program. A little less than $3 million was funded from the Municipal Vulnerability Preparedness Program, and $363,000 from the DPW Enterprise funds. Program delivery and admin was provided by PVPC for this project. And if there are any comments or questions, again, we'll open it up for that at this point. Yes, go ahead, Jeff.
Great, thanks, Jamie. I'm Jeff Bagg. I'm the city planner here in Easthampton, and I just wanted to say, you know, there are a couple people on the call, but I think we reached out to a lot of folks about this hearing, and I think it is really indicative of the city's efforts to correspond and interact with the residents on Cherry Street. I mean, it's living through a construction site for quite a while, and there have been, you know, questions and concerns raised. So I think it's indicative of a successful project overall that we're here, and as of right now, no one's chiming in, but it's very impressive the way that the city combined the CDBG and the MVP. So it's an effort that we hope we can replicate, perhaps in new cities. So the previous speaker mentioned new city, and after we come up with design plans, we would hope to implement similar improvements over the next several years over in that neighborhood, kind of using potentially the same funding sources. But I just wanted to applaud the city and Jamie, your efforts, the efforts of Fuss and O'Neill, and everyone involved, because it's been a big project, but a good one overall. So thanks.
Thank you, Jeff. Any other comments, concerns, questions? Anyone else from the city want to say anything? So if anything comes up, or if you want to email about any of the projects tonight or the block grant program generally, feel free to send me an email at jwebb@easthamptonma.gov. Otherwise, thank you and have a great evening.
This government meeting is brought to you by Eastworks and our local cable subscribers.